Hello guys, today is 17th of July and we are going to talk about calendars, alright? As you know, I have been through some problems, productivity problems, focus problems, and more, alright? And the first thing that I decided to do this morning was to work on my calendar. You have no idea, but I give special attention to my calendar. I think that having a good calendar is fundamental for you, especially when you have to do a lot of stuff, which is our case. We do a lot of stuff and we need to have a calendar to help us keep track of what needs to be done and never forget important things. What has been happening in the past months is that we have been accumulating more and more and more work, and at some point you reach such a number of tasks, it becomes so overwhelming that you stop doing things that you consciously or subconsciously don't find that don't think that are as important. And managing the calendar is one of those things that when the tasks start screaming for you to do them, you don't manage your calendar, right? Because managing your calendar is a personal habit. Your boss is not asking you for your calendar, probably not your girlfriend, not your friends. The only person that cares about or should care about your calendar is you. And when you become overwhelmed, when you have too many stuff to do, one of the things that happen is that you stop working on your calendar because no one asks them. But the consequence is that you start failing on the minor things. And by failing on the minor things, you start to fail on the bigger things, because the smaller things build the big things. So you start failing at a small thing here, a small thing there, and then all of a sudden you start failing big things. All right, and this has been happening with me personally. I stop working on the calendar. I start missing on the small things, and all of a sudden, some months has passed, and I start failing on big things. Big commitments and stuff like that, because I'm not working on the calendar, and I am completely disconfigured. It's time to stop. It's time to stop for a number of reasons. It's time to stop because this is not sustainable. This is not the path that I wanted for me. And this is a state of life that I have been many time ago, and is a state where I don't want to return. These past weeks have been enough for me to remember how bad it is to be an unorganized person, and it's time to go back to old habits. Right? Alright. So, with all this talk, what do I need to do? And what will be my next steps? The consequence of being idle, of working on my calendar, is that I have accumulated a big backlog of little things that I have to do, and I have accumulated the work of prioritizing and defining when to do what. And I will need to use my Google Calendar and organize it since March. All right, I will organize it. I have started this work already in the morning, and it includes eliminating tasks that are already deprecated. It includes reschedule a number of tasks. It requires setting priorities. It requires also defining what the next 6 months will be, because that's also part of the job that I have not made because I have stopped working on my calendar. And then there are a number of tasks that I have been missing, and I will need to do them. And I will return to defining weekly goals and monthly goals so I can be more relaxed daily. All right. So I feel this is kind of a taking back of control. I'm reclaiming control of my life back after these months, these hectic months where I worked on Kickstarter, I worked on studying stuff, I worked on my software engineering job and other projects. All right. I need to have things separated, and having a calendar besides a management tool is fundamental. I have worked on the calendar for a number of years already, and that's something that I should not left apart just because I am overwhelmed. I have to find the right process to make this work. Also, it is important to mention that this week I have started waking up earlier and going to bed earlier, and I feel very proud for that because it was something that I was missing and were having troubles to do it consistently. And during this week I was able of being consistent, and I kind of feel in better shape mentally and physically. So this is kind of what I wanted to talk about the calendar. Today I aim to completely solve my calendar, like completely organize it, which is something that I'm after for so long, but I always missed it in the final moments. I have had almost the perfect calendar in 2020. Around the pandemic, but I then lost the rhythm with the pandemic, and my calendar completely was completely messed up. And then later, after about 6 months, I got the rhythm again, and when I was almost having my calendar completely organized, I changed job and I lose my north. I lose my organization and got overwhelmed once again. And my calendar was once again put aside. And now, almost 7 months later, I am again in a position where I can control it and tame it and have it in a good situation. Perfect and ideal. So let's see if I can do it, and let's see how it will impact my life and this campaign specifically. Alright? So thank you for listening, guys. See you next time.